Ever hit that wall during a run
Oh, yeah.
where your legs are screaming,
Look out.
but it's really your lungs
Yeah,
feel like they're about to give out?
for sure.
It's like our body's way of saying, okay, time to stop.
Yeah, it's funny how we pay so much attention to pacing and playlists and even, what shoes we're wearing.
Right.
But breathing,
Yeah.
we kind of just assume it'll take care of.
It's on autopilot until it's not.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm really pumped about this deep dive.
Yeah.
We're diving into your notes on how to actually breathe better for running.
It's not just about gasping for air.
right.
These sources make it clear strategic breathing can really change the game for your endurance,
Yeah.
for your speed, even injury prevention.
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Well, one thing that really jumped out at me was this emphasis on breathing through both your mouth and your nose.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised by that, too. I always thought nose breathing was like the holy grail for runners, like some sort of air purifier on the go.
It's interesting, right? Because our sources actually compare it to a car engine.
Okay.
So think about it at low speeds. A small amount of air intake is sufficient.
Makes sense.
But when you really hit the gas and you need more power, the engine needs a much larger gulp of air.
And that's where the mouth comes in for runners.
Exactly.
So nose breathing is like cruising around town, but if you want to unleash your inner marathon runner, you got to engage that mouth turbo.
That's a great way to put it. It's about maximizing oxygen intake.
Okay.
Your nose still plays a crucial role, don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's filtering and warming the air.
Of course.
But when you need that rapid influx of oxygen, our mouths, they're the unsung heroes of high-performance breathing.
So we've got this powerful mouth and nose combo going. But what about finding the right breathing rhythm? The source mentions this 2-2 pattern.
Yeah.
Inhaling for 2 steps, exhaling for 2. Is it really that simple?
It really can be. Think of it like finding the beat to your run. That 2-2 pattern, inhaling for 2 steps, exhaling for 2. It regulates your breathing, helps control your heart rate,
Nice.
and as a bonus, can actually help prevent those dreaded side stitches.
Oh, tell me more about that. Side stitches are the worst. And if a simple breathing technique can help prevent them, I'm sold.
There's a reason why that 2-2 pattern is so popular,
Yeah.
because it ensures that your diaphragm,
Yeah.
that muscle responsible for those deep breaths, it's working in sync with your stride.
Okay.
And that balanced rhythm, that's what helps prevent cramping in the diaphragm, which is often what causes those side stitches.
Makes sense. And it's interesting because the source also mentions how that ratio can change as your intensity changes, like a gear shift for your lungs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're picking up the pace, you might shift to a 3-2 or even a 2-to-1 ratio, inhaling for a longer count than you exhale.
Gotcha.
But the key takeaway here is maintaining a consistent rhythm, whatever that looks like for your exertion level.
Yeah.
That's what keeps your oxygen intake steady and your body functioning at its best.
Okay, so we've covered how to breathe through both our mouth and nose and the importance of finding that perfect rhythm. Now, this source dives into something called diaphragmatic breathing,
Right.
which, to be honest, sounded a bit intimidating at first glance. Is this just for yogis, or can us regular runners benefit from this too?
You're not alone in thinking that.
Hmm.
It's not just some fancy term.
Okay, good.
It's the foundation of efficient breathing
Huh.
and something even elite athletes focus on.
Okay, so how do we actually do it?
Picture this. Your diaphragm is like a parachute.
Okay.
And when you inhale deeply, it expands downward, pulling air into the base of your lungs.
Okay, I like that visual. It's like you're filling your lungs from the bottom up, making sure you're using their full capacity.
You got it. Sadly, most of us, we tend to default to shallow chest breathing,
Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
which only utilizes the top portion of our lungs.
Really?
Diaphragmatic breathing, on the other hand, engages more lung capacity,
Hmm.
which gives you more oxygen per breath, and that is crucial for efficient running.
Now, how do we actually train ourselves to breathe this way? It's not like I can just tell my diaphragm to get to work, right?
You'd be surprised. It's about awareness and practice.
Okay.
The source suggests a simple exercise. Find a comfortable position, place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach.
Got it.
As you inhale, focus on expanding your stomach outward like you're inflating a balloon.
Like my stomach is the balloon.
Exactly. That's your diaphragm hard at work.
Yeah.
Ideally, the hand on your chest should stay relatively still.
So I've been breathing wrong this whole time.
And like I said, most of us have. It's just not something we think about until someone points it out.
Well, I'm glad someone pointed it out
Yeah.
because this deep dive has been eye-opening. And speaking of eye-opening, the source mentions keeping our shoulders relaxed while we're running. Seems almost too simple to matter.
Right. But it's all connected. When we tense up, especially our shoulders and upper back, It restricts our diaphragm.
Really?
Think of it like trying to take a deep breath with a weight on your chest. You can't fully expand.
Wow. So relaxed shoulders equal happy diaphragm.
Exactly.
This source also suggests that we can actually train our breathing for running even when we're off the pavement.
Yeah, it's like we've been given this secret weapon for our training.
A secret weapon. I like the sound of that. What's first?
Well, first up, we've got diaphragmatic breathing practice.
So we were kind of just talking about that, but now it's like a dedicated exercise.
Right. The source suggests finding a comfortable position, putting one hand on your belly.
Okay.
And as you inhale, focus on expanding your stomach outward, like you're inflating a balloon.
So it's like my stomach is the balloon this time.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then exhale fully. It's all about strengthening that diaphragm muscle.
And how often should we be doing this?
The source doesn't get into specifics, but even just incorporating it for a few minutes each day can make a difference.
Okay, I can definitely commit to that. And you know, it's amazing how just a few deep breaths like this already make me feel more relaxed, more centered. And to think something this simple can have a real impact on my runs.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the physical benefits either. Studies show diaphragmatic breathing can actually lower your heart rate and blood pressure, reduce stress and anxiety.
So it's a win-win.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, what about this box breathing technique? The name alone has me intrigued.
It's as systematic as it sounds. And it's been proven to work wonders for runners, especially when it comes to pre-race jitters or even during those moments of really intense effort.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. I'm always looking for ways to calm my nerves before a big race. Tell me more.
Picture this. You're at the starting line. Your heart's pounding, doubts swirling in your mind.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Box breathing can be your anchor.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's about inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding again for 4.
Okay, so it's like creating a sense of order within your breath.
Exactly. You're in control.
I like it. Got to try everything at least once, right?
Absolutely.
4 seconds feels a lot longer when you're actually counting it out. But I can see how this would be a game changer for pre-race anxiety. You know, it's like hitting the pause button on all those racing thoughts.
Precisely. And the best part is you can use it during training, too.
Really?
So let's say you're hitting mile 20 of a marathon.
Brutal.
And you just feel that wave of doubt creeping in. This technique can help you stay calm, focused, in control of your breathing, even when things get tough.
It's like a secret weapon against those mental hurdles we put up for ourselves. I love it. Okay, the last thing the source mentions is nose breathing drills. And honestly, my first thought was, isn't that for beginners?
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
But something tells me there's got to be more to it.
You're right about that. It's like we've been so focused on the main course of breathing, during the run,
Right.
that we forget about the appetizers, the things that build up our lung strength over time.
So nose breathing drills are like the appetizers for our lungs.
Exactly. And while nose breathing alone might not cut it during a sprint or, when you're climbing a hill, dedicating some time to nose breathing drills can be so beneficial for runners of all levels.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, when you practice nose breathing, even just for short periods, like during your warm-up or cool down,
Okay.
you're essentially giving your diaphragm and your intercostal muscles, those are the muscles between your ribs, a workout.
Oh.
It's like lifting heavier weights to build muscle.
So we're strengthening our lungs.
Exactly.
I like it. And this translates to better breathing overall, whether we're breathing through our nose or our mouth during a run.
Right. It's about building a solid foundation.
The source mentions that this can even have an impact on elite athletes.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if we can train our breath to this degree. Do elite athletes have a whole other level of breathing mastery that we don't even know about?
Now, that is a question I've never even considered. Like, what does it take to breathe when you're running a 4-minute mile? What's going on there?
Right? It's
Yeah.
incredible to think about.
Well, listeners, there you have it. Who knew that breathing, something we do without even thinking, could hold so many secrets to unlocking our running potential?
It's amazing, right?
The takeaway here, don't underestimate the power of a good breath. Try incorporating these techniques into your training.
Yeah.
From that mouth and nose breathing and finding your rhythm,
Yeah.
to mastering diaphragmatic breathing and even trying those nose breathing drills, you might be surprised at what a difference it makes.
Absolutely. And remember, even those Olympic athletes, they all started somewhere.
Exactly. Now go forth, breathe deep, and enjoy those runner's highs.